Washington, U.S. regulators voted on Thursday, December 14, to roll back so-called net neutrality rules that require Internet providers to treat all traffic equally, amid an acrimonious debate over how it impacts online freedom. The Federal Communications Commission, in a 3-2 vote, adopted a proposal by Republican-appointed Chairman Ajit Pai, who said his plan would scrap heavy-handed rules adopted in 2015 which he argued discourage investment and innovation. The vote kept a heated partisan debate and is just the latest in a battle over more than a decade on rules governing Internet service providers in the courts and the FCC. Democratic member Mignon Clyburn, one of the two dissenters, charged that the agency was handing the keys to the Internet to a handful of multibillion-dollar corporations. Immediately following the vote, officials from 2 states and others vowed to challenge the FCC action in court. Net neutrality activists have staged a series of protests in cities around the U.S. and online, amid fears that dominant broadband providers could change how the Internet works. Chairman Pai has given Internet service providers an explicit license to block, slow, or levy tolls on content, said Faraz Vin of the Center for Democracy and Technology, a digital rights group. Vin said Internet providers will now have even greater power to shape the online experiences of Internet users, at the expense of consumers and small companies. Net neutrality backers have argued that clear rules are needed to prevent Internet service providers from blocking or throttling services or websites for competitive reasons. Critics of the 2015 rule counter that it was based on utility-style regulation designed for 1930s telephone companies, not a dynamic Internet market. Not a water pipe. Pai said ahead of the vote that his plan would restore light touch rules which allowed the Internet to flourish, and promote investments to enable new and emerging services. The digital world bears no resemblance to a water pipe or electric line or sewer, Pai said. Entrepreneurs and innovators guided the Internet far better than the heavy hand of government. Pai said removing neutrality rules is key to investment to develop newer next-generation services such as telemedicine or autonomous driving. When there's less investment, that means fewer next-generation networks are built, he said. And that means more Americans are left on the wrong side of the digital divide. But dissenting FCC Commissioner Jessica Rosenworcel said, net neutrality is Internet freedom. I support that freedom, she said. This decision puts the Federal Communications Commission on the wrong side of history, the wrong side of the law, and the wrong side of the American public. Appointed by President Donald Trump, Pai was a fierce critic of the neutrality rules adopted under former President Barack Obama in 2015 and earlier this month unveiled his plan named the Restoring Internet Freedom Order. Many Republican lawmakers backed Pai, although a few had urged the FCC to delay the vote to allow Congress time to consider legislation. More court challenges.